The cold steel of the scissors sliced through silk like a knife through my soul. Right there in the bridal suite, my mother's manicured hands trembling with rage as she hacked my wedding dress in two. "You'll never marry him."
Zoe.
"Not like this," she hissed, her eyes wild with the secret she'd buried for years, the affair that shattered our family long before I even knew. I died that night, not from the blade, but from the poison they slipped into my champagne flute at the altar. My fiancé's lips brushing mine in a final, traitorous kiss, the world fading to black as betrayal's bitter taste filled my throat. But death wasn't the end. It was a goddamn reset button. I gasped awake in my old dorm room bed, the year 2015 screaming from my phone's cracked screen, my heart pounding like I'd just surfaced from a dive in the Pacific. 22 again. Pre-law at Georgetown. The engagement ring a ghost that hadn't haunted me yet. This time, I wouldn't be the naive bride marching to her slaughter. I'd build an empire in the shadows, wear stars on my shoulders, and make them all choke on their lies. The air in D.C. that fall was crisp, carrying the faint rot of fallen leaves from the National Mall. But inside my cramped single, it smelled like stale coffee and regret. I bolted upright, sheets tangled around my legs, and stared at the mirror across the room. Same hazel eyes, same wild auburn curls I'd later tame into a severe bun for boardrooms and briefings. But the scar on my left wrist from that accidental kitchen slip when I was 16?
Gone.
The faint lines of stress around my mouth from endless depositions?
Erased.
I was me, but unscarred, untouched by the decade of hell that followed. My hands shook as I grabbed my phone, iPhone 6, for Christ's sake, and scrolled through texts from Sarah, my soon-to-be backstabbing roommate.
Zoe.
"Party at Sigma Chi tonight? You need to loosen up before midterms. Loosen up."
Yeah. Right.
That party was where it started. Tyler's easy smile, his hand on my elbow as he steered me away from the keg, whispering promises of forever while his eyes flicked to my father's campaign posters on the wall. Senator Elias Harper, my old man, the golden boy of Virginia politics, who I'd idolized until I learned he'd pimped me out as bait for donors. I laughed, a sharp, bitter bark that echoed off the cinderblock walls.
Reborn.
The word tasted like gunmetal. In my first life, I'd graduated summa cum laude, landed that clerkship at the firm downtown, and said yes to Tyler because he made me feel seen until the wedding eve when Mom confessed everything over wine. Dad's affair with Tyler's mother, a lobbyist who'd funneled dirty money into his re-election. They'd planned to unite the families through me, but when I dug too deep into the firm's files and found the paper trail, they panicked, poisoned me to shut me up, framed it as a tragic bridal jitters OD. The headlines called it "Tragic Loss for Rising Star Senator's Daughter." Not this time. This time, I'd play their game better. I'd enroll in ROTC that very morning, trade law books for tactical manuals, and climb the Navy's ranks like a shark through chum. By the time they tried to drag me down the aisle, I'd be Commander Zoe Harper, with enough classified pull to bury them all. First things first, survival. I showered fast, the hot water scalding my skin like a reminder to feel everything this round. No numbness. No trust. Dressed in jeans and a hoodie civilian camouflage, I hit the campus quad, the autumn sun slanting gold over frisbee-tossing undergrads who had no idea the world's edges were razor-sharp. The ROTC office was in the bowels of the gym, smelling of sweat and gun oil. Lieutenant Ramirez, a stocky guy with a mustache that screamed non-vet, looked up from his clipboard. Harper, you're the poli-sci girl sniffing around officer training. His eyebrow arched.
Skeptical.
In my old life, I'd dismissed military as Dad's jock fantasy.
Now, it was my ladder out.
Yes,
Sir.
I want in. Full commitment. I met his gaze, channeling the steel I'd forged in Death's Forge. He chuckled, sliding me a form. Bold for a sophomore. You know it's not sorority rush, drills at 0500, summers at Quantico. What's your angle? Service. And power. No bullshit. He nodded, impressed or amused, and that was that. Signed. Sealed. Future ensign. Afternoons blurred into a grind. Classes on constitutional law where I'd nod along. Mentally filing away precedents to weaponize later. Evenings pounding pavement on the C&O Canal Trail. Building endurance while plotting. Tyler's first approach came at that Sigma Chi bash. Bass thumping through the frat house like a migraine. I spotted him across the sticky kitchen floor, tall, blonde, lacrosse build. The kind of wasp prince who made girls like me feel like we'd won the lottery. Zoe Harper? Senator's kid. Right? I'm Tyler Voss. My mom's on some committee with your dad. His grin was toothpaste ad perfect. Hand extended like a trap. I shook it, pulse steady. In the before, I'd blushed. Spilled my drink laughing at his jokes.
Now.
I sized him up. The microaggressions hidden in charm. The way his eyes scanned for status.
Voss.
Yeah. I've heard. Law at UVA. Play coy. Draw him in. We talked for hours. Or so he thought. I let him monologue about family legacies, dropping just enough breadcrumbs, my ambition for politics, my loyalty to Dad to hook him. By night's end, his number burned in my phone, and I walked home under street lamps, the Potomac whispering secrets. Step 1. Bait the baiters. Winter hit like a broadside, snow blanketing D.C. In false purity. ROTC had me up before dawn, low-crawling through frostbitten fields, my breath fogging as Ramirez barked orders. Harper, move like you mean it. I did. Pushed harder than the trust fund jocks who joined for the GI Bill photo op. My body reshaped, lean muscle under pale skin, calluses on palms from ruck marches. Mind, too. I devoured Sun Tzu between Tort's lectures. Mapped family trees in notebooks disguised as study notes. Mom called every Sunday, her voice syrup-sweet through the line. Darling, your father's gala is in spring. You must come, networking for your future. Elena Harper, former beauty queen turned political arm candy. The woman who'd wield those scissors like Excalibur. In the before, I'd gushed yes. Now, busy with exams.
Mom.
ROTC's kicking my ass. ROTC? Elias. She's playing soldier. Laughter on the other end. Dad's rumble joining. But I heard the edge, the control slipping. By spring, Tyler was texting daily. Flowers arriving at my dorm with notes like, can't wait to see you shine.
Shine.
I'd shine.
All right.
I met his mom at a fundraiser. A glittering affair in a Georgetown townhouse where power brokers swapped secrets over caviar. Victoria Voss, sleek bob. Pearls like armor. Her handshake firm as she eyed me. Zoe.
Dear.
Tyler speaks so highly. Our families could do wonders together. Wonders. Like laundering bribes through fake charities. I smiled. All teeth. Absolutely. I've been reading up on your initiatives. Impressive fiscal creativity. Her blink was a tell. Seed planted. Summer meant OCS prep at Newport, Rhode Island, the Navy's crucible. I shipped out, duffel packed with ghosts. The base was a hive of khaki and urgency, salt air stinging my lungs as we drilled on the grinder, sweat mixing with sea spray. My bunkmates, a Texan named Riley, who snored like artillery, a quiet Korean-American from Cali with a black belt. No drama queens here, just grind.
Nights.
I'd lie awake, replaying the wedding eve, Mom's scissors flashing, Dad's averted eyes, Tyler's vial of hemlock in his tux pocket. I wrote letters home, curated bullshit about growing and honor. In truth, I was forging alliances. A mentor, Captain Hale,
Saw my fire.
Harper, you've got Admiral in you. But lose the chip, Navy's a machine. Not a vendetta. Vendetta. If only he knew. Fall semester 2.0. Tyler pushed for commitment. Dinners at Founding Farmers. His knee brushing mine under the table.
Zoe.
You're different, fiercer. I like it. Fiercer. I'd become a storm by then. Commissioning ceremony looming. I let him propose over oysters. The ring a gaudy solitaire that screamed bought influence. Said yes with a kiss that tasted like ash. The wedding planning was a farce I directed. Mom dove in. All Pinterest boards and Vera Wang fittings. This dress. Zoe, it's you.
Pure.
Unbroken. Unbroken. I traced the lace, memorizing seams for the slice to come. But I had my own fittings, navy whites tailored crisp, gold bars pinned fresh. My posting? Intel analyst at the Pentagon, clearance level to make senators sweat. I'd pulled strings, Hale's wreck. A psych eval fudged just enough. By Vow's Eve, I was LT. Zoe Harper.
Dozen.
With a safe deposit box full of dossiers, Voss's offshore accounts, Dad's mistresses' NDAs, Mom's pill habit funding her charity fronts. The rehearsal dinner hummed with hypocrisy, crystal clinking in the hay atoms. Toasts to United Futures. Tyler's hand on my thigh under the tablecloth. Possessive. I smiled. Fork spearing salmon like an enemy. Dad pulled me aside in the powder room. Bourbon on his breath. Proud of you.
Kid.
This alliance? It's bigger than us. Bigger than murder? The words slipped. Soft as silk. His face drained. Did he hear right? I laughed it off. Kidding. Dad. Nerves. That night. In the bridal suite of the Willard. Mom arrived with scissors. History repeating. But I was ready. She burst in. Eyes fever bright. Dress box underarm.
Zoe.
It's perfect. Wait. What's this uniform nonsense? I stood in my whites. Bars gleaming under the vanity light. Change of plans. Mother. Her screech as she lunged. Blades flashing, not at fabric, but air. I sidestepped. Navy reflexes humming. You think you can cut me down again? Like you did with your lies. She froze.
Scissors dangling.
What are you? The affair. The money. The poison. Each word a torpedo. Her mouth gaped. Fish-like. I pull my phone. Hit play. Grainy audio from a bug-eyed planted months back. Her voice confessing to Tyler over lunch. She knows too much.
Darling.
The hemlock's untraceable. The door flew open, FBI. Badges flashing. Hale and civvies behind them. I'd leaked just enough. Timed to perfection. Dad and Tyler hauled in cuffs from the lobby, faces ashen. Guests downstairs milled, whispers turning to gasps as squad cars lit the night blue. "You little bitch," Mom spat, lunging wild. I caught her wrist, twisted, disarmed straight from hand to hand. She crumpled,
Sobbing.
"For the family, I knelt. Voice ice. "You killed your daughter for votes." As they dragged her out, I straightened my collar, stars I'd earned later glinting in my mind's eye.
2 stars.
Admiral's braid. But this was victory's first stripe. The headlines exploded by dawn. Senator Harper's empire crumbles in wedding night raid. I watched from a safe house. Sophia Blosk as my muet. Tyler's texts flooded in before his arrest. "Zoe. What the fuck? Call me." Deleted. Dad's lawyer called. Disbarment threats.
Pleas for mercy.
Family.
Zoe.
Blood.
Blood.
The kind they'd spilled. I hung up, booked a flight to Coronado. A SEAL training next, push limits. Bury the girl they broke. Riley met me at the tarmac. Bear hug grin. "Heard you went rogue."
Elte.
Badass. "Rogue's my middle name now." We laughed. But inside, the twist gnawed. Was this justice? Or just my poison returned? The Navy became home, deployments to the Gulf. Intel drops that toppled cartels. Nights under desert stars questioning if revenge hollowed or healed. Years stacked like ammo crates. I climbed, JG to LT. Then LCDR. Postings from Bahrain to the Fifth Fleet. Tyler rotted in Leavenworth. White-collar fraud piled on conspiracy. Mom OD'd in county lockup. Pills. Ironic echo. Dad? Disgraced. Hawking books on redemption to Fox News rubes. But his eyes in interviews?
Dead.
Like mine had been. By 2025, I stood on the USS Eisenhower's bridge. 2 stars on my shoulders. Overseeing ops off Yemen. The girl from the dorm? A memory. Sharpened to a blade. But the hook in my gut twisted at promotions. Hale's words. Vendetta's a chain. Harper. Was I free? Or just dragging corpses? The call came mid-brief. Niece. My brother's kid. 16 and fiery. Interning at a firm Dad once owned. And Zoe? They're saying Grandpa's back in D.C. Whispering to donors. Says he wants to make amends with you. Amends. The word curdled. I stared at the horizon. Red sea churning. Controversial decision. Let him rot. Or face the ghost. I chose the storm. D.C. welcomed me like a prodigal, humid July air. Monuments marble white against smog. The meeting spot, a nondescript diner off K Street. Formica tables scarred as old grudges. Dad slid in opposite. Grayer.
Poncher.
But eyes still scheming.
Zoe.
Admiral now. Stars suit you. Save the flattery. Elias. No, Dad. Not anymore. What do you want? Pardon papers. He leaned in. Voice oil slick. Redemption. Your mother's gone. Tyler's a fool. I was weak. But you. You're Harper blood. Run for Senate with me. Clean slate. Laughter bubbled.
Sharp.
Clean? You poison your daughter for a pole bump. Wait, his blink. The twist hit like a rogue wave. In my rebirth, I'd assumed the hemlock was for me. But the audio, the confessions, they'd targeted the wedding itself. A public spectacle to cement alliances.
Equilateral.
A loose end snipped. You didn't know, I whispered, pieces shattering. Mom and Tyler, they acted alone? His nod.
Slow.
I found out too late. Tried to stop it, that's why the frame job failed in court.
Zoe.
I loved you.
Loved.
Past tense. Like the girl I'd buried. Rage surged. Controversial as hell. Forgive the monster who sired me. Or sink the ship. I stood. Chair scraping. Love doesn't cut dresses or spike flutes. But blood? It binds. I walked out. But not before dropping the bomb. My intel network, greased by stars, had unearthed his final secret, a fresh slush fund. Yemen arms deals funneled through old Voss contacts. Leaked to Walpo by noon. His empire?
Dust again.
Back on the carrier. Deck heaving under typhoon swells. I penned my resignation, not bitter.
But done.
Vendetta's end. A quiet ranch in Montana. Horses and horizons. Niece visiting summers to learn real power. Happy?
No. Whole?
Closer. The scissors? Donated to a museum. Label. Tools of Betrayal.
Me?
In faded whites. 2 stars retired. I finally breathed free. Death gave me a second act. Revenge. The curtain call. But the hook? Forgiveness's ghost. Whispering maybe next time. The Montana skies stretched endless blue. A canvas unmarred by DC smog or the Gulf's grit. But peace was a fickle bitch. I'd bought the spread sight unseen, 200 acres of sagebrush and snow-capped peaks, after the resignation hit the wires. Admiral Harper trades stars for spurs, the Post quipped, with a photo of me in chaps, looking more cowboy than commander. Truth? The whites hung in a cedar chest, bars dulling like forgotten metals. But the nightmares didn't fade. Scissors snicking silk. Poison bubbling cold. Dad's plea face in that diner, crumbling as I dropped the leak. Niece Lila arrived end of August, her Subaru kicking dust down the gravel drive. 16 going on fierce. Auburn curls like mine unbound. She tumbled out with a duffel and a glare. Aunt Zoe. This place is straight out of a Coen Brothers flick. You sure you're not hiding from the mob? I hugged her tight, inhaling teen perfume and rebellion. Worse than mob, family. Brother Mark had shipped her out after Dad's latest scandal splashed. Disgraced senator's arms plot foiled by daughter's dossier. Mark. The golden son who dodged politics for Silicon Valley code. Called it closure time. I called it karma's receipt. We fell into rhythm, mornings mending fences, literal and not. Her peppering questions over coffee black as my moods. So, the wedding. Did Tyler really try to off you? Like, for real? Her eyes wide. But no pity. Kid had spine.
Worse.
They all did. In pieces. I sketched the before. Naive Zoe. Poli-sci prodigy. Seduced by legacy. The after. Rebirth's jolt. ROTC's forge. She listened, chin on knees by the fire pit. Embers popping like suppressed fire. But the twist Grandpa didn't know? Lila's voice soft. Probing. I poked the logs. Sparks rising. Doesn't absolve. He built the machine. Yet doubt wormed. My leak had gutted him. Nursing home now. Tubes and regrets. Controversial? Hell yes, visiting him last week. His whisper. Forgive.
Zoe.
Or it eats you. Eaten already. But starving for absolution. Fall brought blizzards. Whiteouts bearing the ranch like fresh starts. Lila shoveled with me, cursing flurries, but stayed through Thanksgiving, turkey charred, stories unvarnished. You're a badass. Aunt Z. Navy Admiral. Whistleblower. Why quit? Badasses burn out. Truth. The chain hail warned of, each promotion a link. Each leak a wait. Yemen ops haunted. Drones eyed greenlit. Villages collateral. Revenge sharpened the blade, but blunted the heart. News pinged mid-December. Tyler's appeal denied. Suicide watch after a shank attempt in the yard. Mom's grave desecrated. Anonymous roses.
My doing? No.
Ghosts of my own making. I drove into Bozeman, boots crunching snow, to a dive bar smelling of stale hops and pine. Ramirez, retired now, nursed a bud, mustache gray as his service stripes.
Elte.
Harper, no. Admiral. Heard you hung him up. His grin crinkled eyes. Commander Zoe now. Beers on me. We toasted ghosts. OCS hell. Gulf runs. Ever regret the grind? Sir? He shrugged. Regrets for civilians. You? That family mess, clean kill. Clean as a deck swab.
Lie.
The twist festered. If Dad was pawn, not kingpin. Was my vengeance misfired? Lila's winter break ended. Tears freezing on cheeks as she hugged goodbye. Come visit Callie. Aunt Z. Mark says you're family hero.
Hero.
The word stuck like burrs. Spring thaw revealed secrets. Ranch hands unearthed an old well. Bones in the silt. Coyote. Vet said. But my mind flashed scissors. Hemlock. I journaled it out. Pages filling with what-ifs. What if I'd confronted pre-poison? What if rebirth was curse? Not gift. Summer scorched. Hay bailing under relentless sun. A letter arrived. Postmark Virginia. Dad's scrawl.
Shaky.
Zoe, Doc say months. See me? One last. Controversial crossroads. Ignore. Let fade. Or face. Risk the rot. I flew east. Ranch locked tight. Dulles to Richmond. Rental car humming interstates lined with billboards for his old foes, now allies. The home was sterile. Antiseptic sting masking decay. He lay propped. Oxygen hissing. Eyes milky but sharp. Daughter. Voice rasp. Stars didn't save you from this. I pulled a chair. No warmth. Stars were armor. What's left? He coughed. Phlegm and pain.
Truth.
Elena, your mom. She spiraled after the affair blew. Tyler's mom blackmailed. I covered. Wedding, her idea. Unite or die. The poison. I spiked the champagne myself. For you?
Zoe.
Mercy kill, before they framed you deeper. World tilted. Twist upon twist, not victim, but executioner. My rebirth? His final eyes echo. Why?
Love.
Twisted. You were digging. Girl. Found the ledgers. Better dead daughter than disgraced. Tears tracked his cheeks. Forgive? Or finish it. Rage boiled. Navy steel cracking. Controversial. Throttle the husk. Or walk. I stood. Steady. No forgiveness. But no more blood. Rot in it.
Outside.
Rain lashed. Wipers slashing like blades. Phone buzzed Lila. Antsy? Weird call from Gramps' nurse.
He's gone.
Peaceful.
Gone.
The chain snapped. Or so I thought. Back in Montana, I burned the whites, flames devouring braid and bars. Lila flew in. We scattered mock ashes in the creek. Ritual. Release. But tension lingered. Anonymous emails. Voss remnants sniffing for dirt. One night. Porch vigil. Shotgun across knees. Headlights pierce dark. Figure emerged. Tyler's sister.
Gone.
Eyes hollow.
Zoe.
He wrote you before the end. Envelope heavy. His scrawl. I was the blade. You the forge. Sorry doesn't cut it, but justice did. Live fierce. I crumpled it. Tossed to embers. Dawn broke. Gold on peaks. Happy ending? No tidy bow. But free, ranch, niece, horizon vast. Rebirth taut. Revenge tensions, but release heals. Scissors rust. Stars fall. Me, I rise. Years blurred like contrails over the Rockies. The ranch evolving from refuge to reckoning. Lila graduated Stanford, law. Like me pre-stars, and clerked in Denver. Weekends hauling fence posts. Debating verdicts over whiskey. Aunt Z. Your story? It's canon now, podcast fodder. Harper Vendetta. Her laugh echoed mine. Sharper edges honed. I waved it off. But truth nipped. The book deal offers piled. Ghosts digitized. Write your own.
Kid.
Minds close. Closed?
Ha.
Nightmares morphed, not scissors. But Dad's rasp. Mercy kill. The twist that reframed everything. My death. His love's euthanasia. Controversial forgiveness simmered. Unspoken. Fall 2030. Lila announced. Engaged. Tech bro. Clean as code. Wedding chatter bubbled. Destination. Big Sur. My gut twisted. Old reflexes. Vet him hard.
Lil.
Families hide fangs. She rolled eyes. Not all poison. Aunt C. But yeah, background checks my veil gift. Pride swelled. Mingled with ache. My white's long ash. But the uniform lingered in posture. In the way I scanned rooms for threats. Winter brought wolves literal. Howling perimeters. I tracked one. Prints fresh in snow. Rifle slung. Shot missed. It turned. Yellow eyes locking mine. Standoff. Pull trigger. Or let run. I lowered. Whistled low. It vanished. Mercy. Unearned. Spring flooded creeks. Washing out bridges. Rebuild met hires. A vet named Jax. Broad-shouldered. Quiet drawl. Ma'am, Admiral? Need hands? Past tense. But word spread in Bozeman dives. We worked side by side. Calluses matching. Stories traded over campfires. You're not what headlines say, he ventured one dusk. Stars pricking velvet sky. Vengeful bitch or patriot saint? I snorted, poking coals. Both. Neither. Betrayed bride turned blade. Spilled more than planned. Rebirth shock. Navy climb. The cuts, literal. Lethal. His nod steady.
No judgment.
Sounds like surviving. Not thriving yet. Thriving. Word hung. Jack stayed on. Seasons turning. Tension built. Slow burn. Controversial as hell for a woman who'd armored against touch. First kiss under thunderheads. Rain sheeting, desperate.
Alive.
Zoe, he murmured. Hands gentle on scars unseen. Let go. Letting go? The hook. Lila's wedding loomed. Invites etched. Cliffs. Ocean roar. I flew west. Jack shotgun. +1. I joked. Big Sir bloomed wild. Eucalyptus sharp. Guests in linen milling like pre-tragedy echoes. Lila radiant. Gowns simple, no Vera illusions. Vows exchanged. Sun dipping gold. My toast. To love unbroken. And breaking what's poison.
Aish met yaksh.
Promise unspoken. But controversy crashed post-ceremony. Email from D.C. Anonymous. Harper, Voss blood calls. Tyler's kid. Your half-niece. Meet. Attached. Photo. Toddler curls like mine. Eyes Tyler's blue. The secret buried deepest, his one-night pre-prison plea. A daughter hidden in foster limbo. Twists echo. Blood. Binding anew. I slipped away. Cliff's wind-whipped. Dialing a contact. Old Navy ghost.
Now PI.
Find her. Quiet. Reception swirled on. Jax found me.
Concern creased.
Ghosts.
Worse.
Legacy. Confession tumbled. The rebirth. Full arc. Poison mercy. Leaks lethal. Now this spawn of snake. His hand squeezed. Your call.
Zoe.
Chain or cut?
Cut? No.
Dawn drive to Monterey. PI's lead. Safe house. Social worker wary. The girl, Evelyn. 5, peeked from couch. Clutching stuffed whale. You the Admiral lady? Voice tiny. Tyler's timbre. I knelt. No stars. Just Zoe.
Yeah. Kid.
Ever seen a real one? Her giggle cracked ice. Weeks blurred. Visits. Lawyers. Lila's help navigating adoption webs. Controversial? Adopting my betrayer's child. Headlines would feast. Reborn Admiral raises enemy's heir. Jax grinned over crib assembly. Fitting revenge. Love what they hated. Summer solstice. Evelyn arrived permanent. Ranch her kingdom. Wolves' distant howls lullabies. Lila visited. Auntie now twice over. Bouncing the tot while we hiked. Full circle.
Z.
From cut dress to this. Circle. Not closed, but widened. Dad's grave? I visited once. Montana plot stark. Your mercy failed. Mine won't. Wind carried absolution. Maybe. Fall harvest. Evelyn toddling hay bales. Jax and I sealing vows ranch simple, no dress. Just rings forged local. Guests sparse. Ramirez toasting gruff. Hale zooming from retirement. Chain broken. Admiral? Snapped. Recast. Laughter free. First reel since storm wake up. Winter wrapped us. Snow soft. Nightly. Evelyn stories. Whales and wolves. My embellishments. Rebirth's gift? Not just revenge's fire, but life's quiet forge, family reforged. Tensions eased to threads. One eve. Porch swing creaking. Jax's arm warm. Evelyn asleep inside. Stars wheeled overhead. Two-eyed worn now cosmic. Regrets, he asked. None worth keeping.
Peace. Hard one.
The scissors? Rust in memory.
Poison?
Purged. Betrayal's sting? Scar. Not wound. And so, the girl who died in white rose and stars, then shed them for earthbound light. Happy? In the American way. Flawed. Fierce. Forward. Tensions end. not silence.
But song.